So now I'm going to properly set up my sterile field. I have already put down my drape. So now I'm going to open up all of my supplies away from me. I would open it up and let it drop in there without letting it touch anything. And then I would dispose of that. I'm going to open up my gauze here. Opening it away from me. And let that drop in there. Okay, and then I'm gonna open my abdominal, my pad, my ABD, drop that on there. And then I'm going to open up my irrigation tray, letting all that drop on there. And I'm gonna keep this here. And put the, I will put the basin with the saline in it right below the wound after I put on my sterile gloves. So if I had space here, I would do this off of my sterile field. I would open this up. I would set it here. Here, let's do this. I would set it here, open up and this way, opening it this way, grabbing the 1-inch barrier so I can properly fully open those up. And then I can pinch this one, shimmy my fingers into there, and then scoop this one, palm up, and put those in there, and then I can push the cuff down, and then those are my sterile gloves. So then I would pinch this, get rid of this in my waste basket, and then my sterile gloves are ready. Now I'm gonna move my camera just so you can see everything I'm doing. Okay, so I have those on. Now I'm gonna position the sterile basin below the wound and put my solution in there. To take the syringe from. Now I'm going to here's the syringe. Oh, the syringe. I'm going to fill the syringe with solution. So I'm going to grab the syringe out of there. Bring this over here to fill with my fluid. Okay, so I filled my syringe with fluid using only my dominant hand. So there's that. So I have that all ready. I'm gonna move my camera down this way now. Just see if you see what I'm doing with my wound here. Okay, so now that I have the syringe filled with the solution, I'm gonna use my non-dominant hand to put pressure on the basin. Just like this underneath my wound right here. And I'm going to direct a stream of solution into my wound to flush all of that out. And the wound would be positioned to where everything is flushing out. Once the wound is clear, like this, I would stop the irrigation process. Then once it is all cleaned and everything, I would dry the wound with a gauze sponge from my sterile field. I'm going to grab that and I'm going to dry it out. Okay. So now I'm going to apply a skin protectant with this is from my sterile field. Rip that open and wipe around the skin where the tape might have been, just to around the wound where the dressing or the tape would have been applied, and where it may come into contact with the skin. So now I will apply any medication that the patient may need, anything like that, or gels or anything like that. Now I'm going to put a layer of the dressing after I dried it out. I would throw this away. So now I'm going to put a layer of the dressing into the basin to completely submerge it right here, and I would squeeze it out so that it's not dripping wet, and then I would apply that moist gauze to the wound there. So now that I've done that, after I've done that, I will apply my ABD over the gauze. I grab that where the blue line is facing outward. I would put that over my wound here. And now that I have done that, I would get my tape. Get my tape all ready. And I would take my tape and put it over the ABD onto the skin. And I would do that around all four corners or all four sides. And after securing that, I would label it with the date and the time. And now I'm going to remove all my remaining equipment. So now that my wound is done, I'm going to move this back up here. I'm going to make sure that the patient is now in a comfortable position. Make sure that everything is intact there. Check my wound, make sure I did it properly. After checking it, I would remove my PPE if used, including my sterile gloves, taking them out by scooping in, balling them up, and then putting my finger within the cuff of this one and pulling it out like this. And then I would make sure that I check that every shift, and anything that I need to be doing, I would relay on to anybody else that would be coming in after me or anything like that. And that is everything. And of course, after taking your gloves off, you would always perform proper hand hygiene.